everyone. Today we are going to be doing our own color study inspired by a painting that Kandinsky created with what we call concentric circles, which means they're circles inside of circles that all kind of share that same middle point. So this example that I've done already, you can see we're going to be dividing the paper into, 4 squares, and then we're going to be putting 1, 2, 3 circles in each square. So you do need a square paper to start with. If you don't have a square paper, then you need to try and cut some off to make it as close to square as you can. Now, we're going to be folding the paper, and we want to fold it so that the sides of the paper come together, and then creasing it. This is going to help us to figure out where our squares are going to be. So right now you can see I have 2 rectangles, and then I'm going to fold it again. This time I'm going to go the other way and give it a little press to give that crease, and now I can see my 4 squares. And then you are going to want crayons, watercolor paint, and a brush and a water cup. I'm actually going to use one of my crayons to trace those lines that I see that I made to start with, so that I can see the edges of my squares. Okay, and then obviously flatten the paper back out so that it's as flat as you can get it. And then I am going to draw, and I can use any colors I want for this, but I'm going to draw a big circle that's almost as big as the square, and then a medium circle, and then a small circle. And you can do whatever colors you want for these. You can even make them all the same color if you want. You just need to make sure you have a big, a medium, and a small in each spot. So big, medium, whoop, got the wrapper there, medium, and it's not a perfect circle, that's okay, and small. And then in my last one here, I'm gonna keep this yellow in my hand, big, medium, small. All right, so now I have my concentric circles, big, medium, and small. So I am done with the crayons. The next thing that I am going to do is I am going to start with I'm going to pick a color, and I'm going to do the 2 middle circles, so the small and the medium with that color. What we want to try to do is use our primary colors for this. So that would be red, yellow, and blue. When I have red, yellow, and blue, they make the rest of the colors. So that's kind of why I'm experimenting here. It's almost like an experiment. So I'm going to start with yellow first. So I'm going to swirl the brush, the wet brush, and load it up with yellow. And I am going to paint in these 2 smaller circles in this one here. So the little one and the medium one are both going to be yellow to start with. Then I'm going to pick red next. So I'm going to get my red paint going. And I'm going to paint the small and the medium in this one with red. And then in this one, I'm going to use the blue. Now for the last one, it's really your choice what you want to use. You can repeat yellow, red, or blue if you want. Or if you want to try one of the in-between colors that's on your tray, so maybe I'll do orange, you can do that. But we definitely want a yellow, a red, and a blue first. And then you can pick maybe your favorite color for the last one. And I'm just trying my best to stay inside the lines and only do those first 2 circles. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the yellow here, and I am going to do red. So I'm going to start on the large circle, and I'm going to paint that red first. So see how I'm going around the edges? Oh, I ran out of color. Let's try that again. All right, so I'm going to paint this one red first, and that one is going to stay red. Then I am going to go and just do the medium one now. I'm going to leave the small one yellow, but I am going to do the medium one where I mix my red and my yellow, and together red and yellow make orange. All right, so then I'm going to come to this red one, and I am going to add some blue to it. I'm going to do blue in the large circle. So that's the first circle I'm going to paint. And then after I've got blue in the large circle, I'm going to end up mixing it with red in the medium circle. All right, so now I'm going to mix it with red, and together with red and blue, I get purple. All right, now in this one, I'm not going to obviously use red again because I just did red and blue there. In this last one, it's blue and yellow. So now I'm going to grab my yellow, and I'm going to make the large circle yellow. Make sure I get all of the large circle done first before I do any mixing. Oops, I got a little bit of blue touching my brush there. You can see it already started to mix. There. All right, so now I'm going to mix my brush with that blue, and together I get my blue and my yellow to make green. All right, so in the last one, I have orange. So I could try any other color with that. I could do red and then see what happens when they mix. I just don't want to do orange again. So it's really up to you what you want to do in the last one. I am going to try it with blue. So I'm going to make the large one blue. I'm going to make sure I paint all of the large one first. Make sure you always get a little bit of water before you grab paint so it spreads out. Watercolors definitely don't work without water. All right, so now I'm going to mix them, and you can see I get this grayish color when these ones mix, and that's because these ones are not next to each other on the color wheel, and when they're not next to each other, they make things like gray and brown a lot of times. All right, so the last step then is to choose a color for the square that's around each of the circles. So that color choice is entirely up to you. You can use some of the colors that you haven't used from your paint tray yet, or you can go back and use more of the primary colors. But basically that last step is just to finish up each square with another color. And you can see when it's done, the whole picture's painted, and you've done your own color study where you have experimented with mixing colors. All right, I hope you have fun.